What's going on, everyone? So, the New Orleans Pelicans are expected to shop and take kind of the first reasonable offer that they are given in order to move off of Zion. They feel like the time is done. They know they're not going to get a return. They're not going to get anything crazy for Zion Williamson. So they're kind of looking at it as like, hey, you know what? It's over, cooked, time to move on. So let's just try to get something for him, kind of salvage this. Zion Williamson, when he's healthy, is an incredible player, dominant force. I mean, there is zero reason he shouldn't be in top 5, top 10 conversations every year. He is that good, that explosive, that talented. I mean, he's unguardable at times, right? When he's hitting shots and doing all this stuff. I mean, anybody that's as big as him isn't as fast or explosive as him or athletic as him. And anybody that is as explosive and athletic as he is, isn't as big as he is. So he just has the advantage in all these different areas. Now, I want to talk about, again, just kind of a fun conversation, just kind of exploring ideas and potentials, because when you look at the San Antonio Spurs, the one position that you could argue is needed the most is a starting 4, right? If you can get a clear-cut starting level 4, then Spurs could be a very good basketball team. And Zion Williamson, if healthy, there's not really very many guys that you can make an argument for that are better than he is at the 4, right? So, to me, he's somebody that may be worth the risk. Now, I don't know if I'd trade for him this year just because, one, you don't want to kind of integrate him yet. Like, you're having a good season. You're kind of building towards things. You want to kind of, have this year kind of be the figure it out year still. You're kind of seeing what guys are the odd men out and all that stuff, yada, yada, right? But then also, on top of that, he's injured again, right? The only problem with Zion Williamson is his injuries, right? The guy can't stay healthy. The best ability is availability, but how much of it is the Pelicans? I mean, even guys like Dyson Daniels and stuff have said publicly that the Pelicans got to be cursed, right? We have seen several guys leave the Pelicans and go to other teams and immediately fix their health issues, right? I don't know if it's a training staff issue. I don't know if it's a medical issue. I don't know if it's both, right? I don't know if it's just an organizational issue, right? Whatever it is. But a team like the Spurs, who have better medical team, better training, all that stuff. And part of the reason I'd want to consider him in the offseason is if you were to do something like this, I'd want to get him early so you can immediately work on him and kind of shape him and get him right and healthy and dieting and all that stuff to where now he's ready to go for training camp, preseason, regular season, so on and so forth, right? I'd want to kind of do it in the offseason where you can kind of spend the year getting him right, getting him better to where you can go and make that trade and move. The other reason I think it might be interesting to take a flyer on him, he's not making $50 million a year. He's making, 30, say the most he'll make on this final year is $44 million, but every year is non-guaranteed. So if at any point he doesn't work out, you can just waive him and clear that salary space to, you're going to have guys like Wemby getting new contracts and Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle and all these guys, right? So you're going to have several guys that are going to need contracts to where it's hey, we need to get off his salary more than anything. Okay, you can just get off him. Or you can always use him as a salary dump trade to where, say a team has a guy or two that you really like. You could, hey, here's Zion. You can just waive him because he's non-guaranteed so you can get off of that salary and give us this guy that we really like. So you're not handcuffed to him. You have the flexibility with him. Guys are cheap enough right now to where, again, you can take a flyer on him for a year or two and kind of gauge and see. If it works out, you look like absolute geniuses and might be the best team in all about it because you got Zion Williamson, who's a guy that go get you, again, 25, 8, and 8 on any given night, right? You look at even this year, he's averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 51% from the floor, right? Again, the issue is he can't stay healthy. That's the only problem. But you're not going to have to give up much for him, right? They just want the first reasonable salary or first reasonable trade, which is why I'd wait till the offseason, right? Because you have guys like Jeremy Sohan. Could you maybe do a sign and trade with Jeremy Sohan and kind of package a package to get to him? Maybe Jeremy Sohan let's say 15 million a year, you could do like a Jeremy Sohan and like maybe like a Devin Vassell or something like that to go get that done. Or, how much are the Pelicans willing to pay Sohan? Supposedly he wants 18 to 20 million. I don't think he gets that. So, but if you could maybe kind of sign and trade like a Jeremy Sohan, be like, hey, here's a young guy we're going to get off of regardless. You can have him bring in Zion, take a flyer on Zion, who is better than Jeremy Sohan, right? And then, if it doesn't work out, you can always, like I said, get off of Zion. So you're not stuck or handcuffed or anything like that to where it's like, oh man, we made this terrible trade and now what? Now we're cooked, right? And so to me, again, if he's 25 years old, so he's young enough to fit the now and future timeline, right? He's good enough to where he can fit the now and future timeline, right? Like him slotting in alongside Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper and all this stuff, right? Like if you can have him solve your long-term for, and I'm not expecting him to play 82 games a season. I'm not, when I say get him right, I don't mean get him right to where he's playing 82 games a season. One, kind of rare. We're not in that NBA anymore. Two, I wouldn't expect him to go from like 29 games a season to 8. Oh yeah, now he's going to play 82. But if you can get him in that like 60 to 70 range. So he has one season, which is the 2023-2024 season, which he played 70 games. And then his second year, he played 61. So if you can get him in that like 60 to 70 range, I think it's worth it. And especially with how good he is and can be when he's healthy, right? Like the problem is, like I said, this season he's already hurt and he's only played 10 games. He played 30 games last year. The year before the 70 game run, he played 29 games. The year before that, he did not play the entire season due to injury. In his rookie season, he played 24 games. The guy's only played like 40% of the total games that he can play. I don't even think it's that many. It's probably less than that. But like, point is, like, that's literally the only issue with Zion. You look at his stats and like what he does when he is healthy. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. Now you look at this season, like I mentioned, 22 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block or half a block, right? 6 rebounds. He's shooting 72% from the free throw line. Has an EFG of 51%. He's shooting 52.1%, which is actually down. He's a career 60% guy on 14.2 attempts. 3-point range, hasn't really taken any threes. So again, he's not really like this elite floor spacer, but Wemby can stretch the floor at times, right? And you have him for the explosiveness. He can knock down the mid range. He can do all that. Again, he's a guy that he had seasons, right? Like he had a 26-7-5 season with 1 steal and 1 block. He had a 23-6-5 season with 1 steal and 1 block. He had a 25, just under 25, 7 rebound, 5 assists with a steal and a block season, right? Like this is a guy that can give you an impact both sides of the basketball if healthy. But question is, can you get him healthy? Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot to enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.